Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Honestly, this will be my first video coming home from WrestleMania, getting back into the swing of things. All of the WrestleMania videos should all be up. Pretty soon I'll start uploading maybe the greatest hits clips that most people like to watch just on their own. From there I'll start working on editing it down to making the 31 the movie. Sooner than later. Definitely, everyone knows from my videos that I was making before WrestleMania 31, talking about that I thought Triple H versus Sting was the main event of the show. It was the match that I cared the most about throughout the whole feud of Sting showing up at Survivor Series, Sting showing up again on Monday Night Raw before the Royal Rumble. Triple H basically pulling his hair out over the fact that he didn't know why Sting kept on showing up, and they turned the feud into WCW versus WWE, a relive of the Monday Night War series, sort of highlighting, telling people to go back and watch things on the WWE Network to see how big of a star Sting was, and he was the guy who never crossed the line and left WCW to come to WWE, even though WWE seemed like it was the greener pasture. You can really look at the guys that came from WCW. If you go back into the past, you can think of, the first guys who crossed the line were like Ric Flair. Ric Flair was a big star in WWF back in the day. He did win the Royal Rumble, winning the championship. He did have a great WrestleMania match against Macho Man Randy Savage. The Steiners came in. The Road Warriors came in. Lex Luger came in. All of them, they had their time to shine. They were all the main event guys for WWE. They were all put in a big light, but definitely you can think of, when they were in the bubble of WCW, they might have been bigger fish in a smaller pond. They probably were more popular, and they were on top. Sting was a guy that has said in interviews one of the reasons why he didn't go to WWE and went to TNA was basically he looked at what happened to Booker T when Booker T came over during the Alliance, and he was in the promo with The Rock, and The Rock acted as if he didn't know who he was. And I've always defended it, basically saying that they weren't trying to put Booker T down. It just was The Rock's gimmick of, who are you? It doesn't matter who you are, all that jazz The Rock would do. But, Sting finally came, and Sting WrestleMania weekend was that guy. I mean, WrestleMania 28 weekend was Daniel Bryan, the one guy that the fans wanted to see. I didn't go to WrestleMania 29, but it seemed like Fandango was the guy who sort of took over the whole deal. WrestleMania 30 was all about Daniel Bryan and Cesaro, and WrestleMania 31 was that dream of finally seeing Sting wrestle. And I remember at one point during Monday Night Raw, when everybody was booing Roman Reigns during the main event, I honestly knew that the Sting interview was going to happen on the Monday night on the WWE Network with the exclusive, after Monday Night Raw, turn on the WWE Network and you can hear an interview with Sting. I didn't think it was going to be live in the arena, in the ring. I honestly thought that it was going to be, filmed either backstage at WrestleMania, at his hotel, sometime throughout the day. I thought it was going to be like a sit-down interview with Michael Cole, not Renee Young coming and bringing him down to the ring. And I looked at Miguel and I was like, they're not dumb enough to let Roman Reigns be the guy who does the interview saying, thank you for coming to WrestleMania. You guys are awesome. Thank you to all the fans who actually live in San Jose for hosting this, awesome time for all of these people. He would have got booed out of the building. No one wanted to see Roman Reigns. It seemed that the one guy that anybody wanted to be was Sting. Sting was the guy, and he deserved to be, put in that bright light. The match, Sting versus Triple H, honestly was nothing what I thought it was going to be. And if you told me that the NWO and DX were going to get involved, I would have told you were high as a kite and that I thought the match was going to be horrible. But the way that they pulled it off with nobody knowing was awesome. I mean, the NWO disbanding Belief and them strolling down to the ring during a run-in, and the DX, even though they had lesser name power with the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac coming down compared to Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hollywood Hogan. When that music hit, nobody knew what the hell was going on. I honestly was thinking it was just going to be Shawn Michaels himself. I thought they were going to go with the top-notch name power, but they ended up, bringing him out later. I still don't even know where he came from. I got to watch that on the WWE Network as soon as I can. But the one match that everyone still wants to see is Sting versus Undertaker. I'm not quite sure when this match, if it is ever going to happen, but there's people putting it out there, after their conversation in the San Jose airport flying back to Dallas, Texas on the same flight. is that, you know, Sting keeps saying that that will probably be his last match against Triple H at WrestleMania 31. But if they asked, there are a few things that he would like to do, and one of them is wrestle Undertaker. I don't know, Taker the last 2 years, the match against Brock Lesnar, the match against Bray Wyatt at 31, neither one of those matches really delivered in my book. There was shock at 30 because he lost, but at 31, it was just, there's no way in the world he was going to lose that match. It didn't make sense that Taker would come back after the loss. And it doesn't really make sense why he did. I'm glad that he got to have that, you know, elaborate entrance. I'm glad that he got to go out on a win. But at the end of the day, the match with Bray Wyatt really just didn't mean anything. There was no real meaning to the match. It just was there. It was just, you know, come see The Undertaker, hopefully for one more time. If the match happens, Sting versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. I know that people are saying that they're really going to have to make this basically a legend show. Basically bringing back Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sting, Undertaker, maybe find some way for Bruno Sammartino, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels all to wrestle one more match. It doesn't really make any sense because WWE Wrestlemania is supposed to be the Super Bowl of those teams. You know, when there's a Super Bowl in the NFL, you know, they don't call up the, you know, the 1990 San Francisco 49ers. They don't call up like the 1994 Dallas Cowboys. Those were great teams, but, you know, people would like to see Steve Young and Troy Aikman, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, all of those stars of back in the day. But the stars are made on the field, and they play their way to get to that game. Honestly, in my opinion, I believe that, you know, WrestleMania does have a spot for some sort of a legacy match. But there were so many guys on WrestleMania the last 2 years that aren't even on the house shows, aren't even on pay-per-views, aren't on Monday Night Raw, that it just doesn't really make sense anymore. You know, everybody keeps complaining about why wrestling is so bland throughout the year, and why WrestleMania is the only time that they turn it on and make people care about it, is that they keep bringing these guys back, and, you know, they do, you know, pour in these big numbers. They're saying that the network numbers around 1.3 to 1.4 million subscribers the week of WrestleMania. Everybody wanted to see the big show, even if it only cost $10. It was awesome. But honestly, in my opinion, I don't know. The Sting match, you know, it took a lot of smoke and mirrors for this to happen. The Undertaker match, the last 2 years have been bad. I know that it's a dream match that a lot of people want to see, but in my opinion, I don't think this match is ever going to happen.